Hello everyone, this is Spiteful, and today I'm going to be bringing you a Skyrim playthrough. Old game, I know, but figured it'd be a good place to start my channel. So, the type of playthrough that I'm doing is going to be focused around a mod called Helgen Reborn. Now, this mod does mess with the vanilla intro a little bit, so I have got an alternate start mod installed. So, you will notice that some aspects of this game will be very different to the vanilla. It's because I have quite a few mods installed. There will be a link to a list in the description, as well as all links to where they can be downloaded. So to start off with, just to avoid any major confusion, I'm just going to go with a generic white person. No real reason why. Tends not to have much of a difference in the long run anyway. By the time you've actually played for a few hours, generally the build and the starting build don't really matter. So, just for the sake of boredom, I'm going to make him as generic as possible. Go for the good old brown eyes. No change to the face at all. Go for this haircut. Good old neck beard. And boring old black hair. No offense to anyone with black hair, but if you have this haircut, you are in fact a generic white male. In fact, voila. So, this room here is... I'm here because of the alternate start mod. So, with this, you can choose how you want your character to start rather than going through the lengthy introduction sequence that you would normally have in Skyrim. So you go over to this statue here, activate
Approach,
it,
my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
and then you pick where you want your character to start. So you can always go through with the vanilla start if you want to. I'm not going to because it tends to be really glitchy. So, just for the sake of having a nice, easy, convenient start, let's go with own property in one of the holds,
Which property do you own?
and we'll say Breeze Home in Whiterun because it's nice and central in the map, and it's nice and close to the main quest when we do choose to start it.
Even a modest existence is something to admire.
And now to start our game off, all we have to do is go up here and sleep in this bed, and voila, loading screen, and we'll spawn inside Breeze Home in Whiterun. Like so. As you can see, you spawn with it pretty much fully upgraded. It's all set up. It's got the alchemy lab. It's got all the main stuff downstairs. All it doesn't have is the second bedroom. So, first off, we're probably going to want to find some actual weapons for our character, and some good equipment, because this generic white male currently has absolutely nothing equipped. I do believe there are some swords up here, but they're great swords, and I generally prefer one-handed weapons. Go for the good old dual-wield build. So you'll also notice that I currently have no cursor. That's because of another mod I have installed called Scoped Bows, and also sort of for the sake of immersion.
But we must have more swords for the Imperial soldiers.
Also, you will notice that my sneak icon appears in the lower left hand side of the screen rather than in the center. This is also in order to make sure that it suits with the targeting for the bows.
Besides,
So, we've got very little gold. So I guess we're not going to be starting off by buying weapons.
Have it your way. I'll take the job.
Let's
but don't
see what we
expect a
can
miracle.
do. See if we can sneak in and steal something. I'm probably not going to focus very much on the stealth skills. This is probably going to be a mostly combat-based character.
Now don't let the name worry you. We got plenty of steel for fighting men.
Got a sword, got a dagger. That's a good start. I think I'll go with heavy armor for this build as well.
We've got small weapons
So
as
while
well
we're
as
here-
big. Maces, daggers, that sort of thing.
Steal some iron boots. Iron gauntlets. I mean, that's not much. It's a start. Is there anything we can put on his head? Don't think there is in here. Oh well, I don't think we can get much else while he's here watching us. Nothing in the back room. No, doesn't look like it. So, I'm sure that all of you have at least seen others play Skyrim before. I've played it a decent amount myself. I'm not claiming I'm not good at the game by any means, but like, I do my best. Also, you may notice some choppiness in the video. That's because I am poor. I cannot buy a good PC at the moment. But it should be decent anyway. Alright, let's equip our gear. Got the iron boots and the iron gauntlets. Not much, we should be able to pick up some more armor pretty quickly. And let's favourite both of these just for the sake of convenience later on. And equip, ready for the dual wield build. So, it's a pretty interesting way that you have to start this Unbound quest, because you do have to make your way back to Helgen. Sometimes the requirements for starting it can be a bit buggy, and seeing as how that's also how you start the main quest, I think we might just head straight there. We won't be buying a horse because we can't afford to, won't be stealing it because honestly, I don't feel like it. So, I might just start running, and I'll come back when I'm a bit closer to where we need to be. That was unnecessarily vicious. Alright, so here we are. We've made it to Riverwood. This is probably about the halfway point in terms of travelling, but there are a few things I want to do before we go through and get to Helgen. Pretty much first thing I want to do is acquire a follower. This man right here is probably the easiest follower to acquire in the game, because all you have to do is do a small quest that he asks you to do.
Maybe. Never mind. But I would stay away from him if I were you.
So when you talk to him, and he continues walking off because Skyrim is a perfect game, you can have the option to ask him what his problem with Sven is.
He's a bard, so he says. Occasionally he finds time to do his job here at the mill. Thinks his ballads and sonnets are going to convince Camilla Valerius to marry him. As if she would say yes. An intelligent, beautiful woman like her wouldn't fall for that nonsense. I hope.
So, what I may end up doing in future is just skipping most of this dialogue and summarizing it. So basically, what he wants is
I've been thinking.
he wants to date, he wants to court this one woman, but he has some competition, and he's basically just given me a letter that's sort of very not nice, and asked me to say that it was written by his competition. So for those of you who haven't played the game, this is the letter here. See? Basically, he's just trying to make this guy sound thirsty and just make him sound like an absolute pain in the ass that no one will want to live with. So, for the sake of an easy follower, let's deliver it. Also, this is another one of the very early Radiant quests that you can find.
I said no. No adventures, no theatrics, no thief chasing.
Well, what are you going to do then, huh? Let's hear it.
We are done talking about this. Oh, a customer. Sorry you had to hear that.
So they're arguing over something that was stolen, and we're going
Maybe you
to
could talk
accept
some
this
sense
quest,
into my pig-headed brother.
and we'll
I
be able to figure it out later.
Riverwood Trader is everything you need in a general store.
You'll see why I'm accepting this quest soon.
Yeah. An ornament.
So you agree? We'll agree to help
Got
and get
some
it back.
coin coming in from my last shipment.
And while we're here,
It's
we can
yours
finish
if you
that
bring
quest.
my
I came
claw
here from
back.
the Imperial Another poem. What's this? You can tell Sven that he already has a mother. I'm not speaking to him anymore.
So now she's just said she's going to stop talking to the guy's rival, and now we can go back, talk to the guy who asked us to deliver the letter, and he will now become my follower. Which is useful for a low-level character like me that currently has little
Tell
to no
me as
gear.
soon as you've given Camilla. I appreciate your help. Please, take this. Some gold I've saved up from working at the mill.
And now
Lead the
we
way.
can ask him to follow us, and we now have our first follower.
Still here.
So,
What do you want me to
if I
carry?
remember right, yeah. So he has one of the scoped bows. As you can see, it has a couple of sights attached on the side. It doesn't aim down sights; it just makes aiming a bit easier. There's quite a few different types. They're all added to level lists. You can find them throughout the map, and they become more common in higher levels as well. So now that we've got a follower, we
New
can
to
move on
Riverwood?
through to Helgen.
If you're looking for work, go see Hod at the mill.
We'll stop by some of the basic stuff that you would normally see when you start a new character, like the standing stones. They'll let you pick how your character develops. Yeah. Even a game as old as Skyrim, it's amazing how advanced the graphics were at the time. Even now, the game is still quite beautiful looking. Even on the medium graphics settings that I've got it running on at the moment. Crunchy boy. And this is good because the leather that we get from this can be used to craft some useful gear very soon when we get back to Riverwood. It's part of one of the other mods that I have installed. So that mod that activated just then gave the message in the top left hand corner. I believe it's called Border Sense, and basically what it does is it alerts you when you move between the various holds of Skyrim. As well as that, if I do end up getting a bounty, whenever I enter a new hold, it will tell me what the bounty in my hold is. So this is going to be mostly a combat build, so I'll go with the Warrior's Zone for now. Might pick another one later, but that's what we're going with. So we should be getting pretty close to Helgen pretty soon. Yeah, it's up this way. It's interesting. It's interesting how the foxes AI work. Sometimes they'll attack you, sometimes they won't. Yeah, so that's Helgen right there. As we get closer, we should see a dragon spawn and fly away. So I should probably read through this, make sure that I do everything properly. Here we go. So that's done that. So now next time we go back to Whiterun, we should get someone coming to talk to us. Yep, so there's a dragon, Alduin, that would normally appear during the starting quest. So what we do now is as you saw, we got the quest target to investigate Helgen. So this is how you would normally go about starting the main quest. So now we've got the map marker, and we can head down here, and the quest marker points to this charred corpse here. Basically, he was someone else that was part of the group of people that got captured. So, you read this, and it just briefly describes what's been going on in this guy's life leading up to his capture, with the final entry being about the appearance of the dragon. He mentions that a couple of people went into the building in order to escape through a cave. Doesn't tell you where the cave is, only that it's nearby. So what you can do now is you can go and find the cave. You can't actually go through these buildings, which is where you would normally go through to enter the cave, because it is blocked off, as it normally is in the tutorial. You could always go through and find the cave entrance wherever it is in the world, but honestly, that's boring. I don't want to go that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make you guys watch me do it. So instead, we're just going to skip to the bit where we go back down to Whiterun and find the guy who's trying to talk to us. So because we spawn there, we can go to Bree's home, but a part of the quest for Helgen... Oh, never mind, there's a cave marker for the cave, so we might as well go in here, see if we can find some dead bodies and get some armor from it, some equipment. So we go in here. This is the cave where you would normally go through if you played the game vanilla. This is the tutorial cave. It's just going in the other way. So here we are. This is where you would normally find a big bear, get the option to sneak past it, but instead we have Hadvar and Roloff, I believe his name is. Yep, Raloff. And these are the two that you would normally be able to follow at the start. So if we talk to them... So you get the option to pick which one you want to go with, and from there it just picks up along the main story. So neither of them have voice lines because, obviously, the original actors never intended this to be as part of the game. So it's not voiced, but I'm pretty sure you don't miss out on that much. So you come through here, you've still got the spiders, they still spawn, still gotta fight your way through them. Of course, they are gonna be pretty simple to fight. They are just start game bosses. They won't spawn until you pass through that doorway, those two that drop down from the ceiling. If you watch, go back up here, and they should drop down. There we go. These ones have a bit more health. Still, nothing difficult. We'll keep going back up this way. There should be a healing potion around here somewhere. Got damaged by a bone because the Skyrim physics engine is as flawless as the rest of the game. And I do believe that up here in this little hidden alcove there is a healing potion. So as you can see, there are some collapsed rocks up there. That bridge would normally be broken if you play through the tutorial normally. So back through here, this is where you would normally come through. You'd normally come from up here, and as you can see, it's all blocked off with fallen rocks. So if you tried to go through the normal way, you wouldn't be able to get through without using commands. Apparently the Stormcloak soldiers are just standing around because they've got nothing better to do. We can just continue on, pick who we want to exit the cave with, and then just like that, the main questline starts. I think we're going to go with Hadvar for now, just because if you go with him, you get access to a blacksmith shop, and they basically let you take whatever you want. So we'll give him that. And that was the sound of something collapsing all the way back there, I guess. Moving on. So we follow him out. He'll lead us out of the cave. And then I do believe we will get the normal text, the normal speech.
What the rebels like to forget is that the Empire is...
And from that, he'll instruct us to go to Riften. We'll be able to talk to his family, get the gear, and yeah, and from then on, basically just follows the normal quest line. Okay, so as I was editing, I realized that my full video had gone for like an hour. So instead of making you watch that in one stretch, I have cut here and made it into a couple of separate episodes. So this will be it for this video. If you want to keep watching, the next video will be up shortly.